Please turn to page 27 in the Gold Prayer Book, and we'll start by chanting the Seven-Limb Prayer. Gosum gupe gone chatselo ngsham yi tu chati malubu tomene saditun tam sheshat Kepagewanam la jeiron korwamaton badule june drola cheki kolo korwadang da shengenam jan chuchen porno. Turn to page 97. And then at the bottom of the page, you see the short mandala offering. So let's offer the short mandala. Saji perki shushing metog tamri rabinshi ni degen pari sangye shingdu mi te uwa yidro kunam dag shim la chepashog chetsun lama dampe hakena teacher kukala can say chu jin tri jita sampe du je zima la jab ke cheki charpa to serve idam guru ratamandalakam niryatayami Chudan soki chonam la janchu bardu dani kapsuchi dagi chunyangi pesernam gi dola penchir sangye tu pashok Chudan soki chonam la janchu bardu dani kapsuchi dagi chunyangi pesernam gi dola penchir sangye tu pashok Chudan soki chonam la janchu bardu dani kapsuchi dagi chunyangi pesernam gi dola penchir sangye tu pasho.
관계 대체 저거 좀 가봐면 봐. 찜면 봐. 제발면 봐. 땀면 봐. 오면 봐. 눈면 봐. 터대되면 되지. 주반이 이제 세대 먼저 배선제 만남제 담바달라 차세로. 관계 두전 여선에 따와담 잡방 배선 담배주는 데서 뭐 거든달라 차세로. Welcome back to the class. I will give it away, small cat and the frog. I will give it away. So now only one left here. I will only give it. Cute one. So we finish study about death is now complete. So now we're studying what happened between death and rebirth during 49 days. What happens, what it calls. It's on, maybe Mike is sleeping. Mike, so hello? No, light is on.
Testing, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, nice walking. So we complete studying the death, which is one of the basic bodies, 3 basic bodies. So now we are going to study intermediate state. What happens between after death? What happens, like where you go, like how long you stay between rebirth and death. Like that, okay? Called Pardo, intermediate state. Oh. Can you choose where we stop? We remember last time.
Yeah, we were getting ready to start the description of the intermediate state, the features. 5 features.
Continue Pardo.
There was the question, what example is there for the existence of such an intermediate state? And then the answer, like when we go to sleep, the 4 signs.
Got it.
After that.
Pardo. Par, the Tibetan word par means between. Between. Pardo, there's the between. Between death and birth. Pardo. Pardo, there's a Luden to a legend, the watch of Luden Nimbati. And you did a low major or Samushly Sonja. So no need to explain every single, the detail here. So only the critical, the most important. Okay. Pardite la chi chung chi zam che jang parsi rangla dulaje. So then the very last moment that subtle consciousness remained between these two mishibi tiglis, like undestructible, what is it called? Indestructible drops. There's like drops, the red from mother, the white from fathers. So just like so then out of the I think force of karma, it kind of shakes. So then consciousness descends from there. So the external sign that you see the red blood from the nostril, then the white blood goes out of the tip of the organ. So that's the external sign that consciousness already, I'd say, left the body. You may not see that sign if the body was exhausted by long period of sicknesses, so that you may not see that sign. Then person could remain inside the body like 18 days, like 20 days, like 14 days. Depends. Like if that person managed to use the understanding of shunyata on that moment, so then that automatically you kind of like because all this dualistic view is automatically disappeared. Dualistic, not through meditations. There's a way to eliminate dualistic view through meditations on doing meditation on shunyata. Through that way, way before you die, you could eliminate dualistic view. So that requires meditations, require effort. So then at the very end, that dualistic view, kind of like the gross, not talking about the subtle one, gross dualistic view do disappear because of the death resolution process. And the very end of the death resolution process, that gross dualistic view disappear because there's all the gross mind is all deceased. So that's usually dualistic view because of gross mind. So all the gross mind is pretty much ceased. So therefore, so there will not be dualistic view. So then what you see is like something like clear, like something totally empty. Totally empty, nothing there, totally empty, nothing there. If you experience that kind of empty of dualistic appearances before you die through meditations, so then you may able to recognize that moment that you automatically experience, and you recognize, then use your knowledge of emptiness, then you could stay there 14, 15, 18, 19 days. During that period, there will be no smell from the body will be fresh, and it's almost like the person is just sleeping there, almost like that. There's all the aura is still there. So, then if you are very familiar with Hatha Yoga Tantra teachings, so there is possibility that you may achieve like illusory body or rainbow body, illusory body. Did you ever heard about rainbow body, illusory body? Could happen inside the body, or could happen, outside the body, so like that. So that, required also like knowledge about Hatha Yoga Tantra, generating stage and complete stage. So then basically enlightened, So if not, then we will be liberated from samsara for good. So that's the one reason why there's called meditative, deep meditation states. Could be 2 weeks, 18 days. That happened. It's still happening nowadays. It's still happening. Some monks, they do remain there 18 days like that. So then sometimes, for as I mentioned last Wednesday, people hold on or hang on there like for different reasons. So maybe clinging on some kind of possessions, persons, possessions, wealth. So then in that case, there's like special rituals that you can do to speed up the, to basically force the consciousness to leave the body, because there's no really good reason being there. There's no really good reason, just like some kind of like some form of attachment. So then right after that, then you become pardo. Oh yeah, so so actually there's like six types of migratory being. Three higher like God, demigod, human. Then like hell realm, petal realms, animal realms. There's 6 types of migratory beings that you see in the philosophical text. So any this is more like debate things, so, but I'm going to explain. So in the future, if you see something, make sure that you don't get confused. So any of those migratory being has to belongs to these 4 types of birth. 4 types of birth. The pardo is one of the 4 types of birth, but it's not belongs to any of those 6 types of migratory beings. So there's something to, if you debate in the future, so there's something to think about, okay? So any of those 6 migratory beings has to be one of those, belongs to one of those types of rebirth, birth. 4 types of birth, needs to belong to one of them. But something that part of the 4 types of birth, one of those types of birth does not have to be 6 types of migratory being. Which one? Pardo. You can say pardo. So there's something that. What else? So of course the pardo is like miracle birth. So all the organ happen simultaneously. It doesn't go through the process like human, like birth from womb. So this kind of takes time to develop all the organs, one by one. It's like miracle birth. It's like simultaneous, have all the organs, and of course that every week goes through small death, but there will be no crops, as I mentioned before. Miracle birth, there will be no crops. You don't see crops. So this then ombokunza tome des mido dene tisaos. So Vasubandhu, one of the Indian masters, wrote this Abhidharma Kosha text, the treasury of knowledge in English, chapter number 3, that talks about all different types of realms. Desire realm, within the 12 desire realms, there's 33 celestial realms. So there's form realm, formless realm, the lifespan, how you define morning, the evening, the size of the body, all of that explained in chapter number 3. So chapter number 3, there's a detailed explanations. Of course, the pardo is also there. Pardo being obokunsang, tome dance. Pardo being could go to wall. Wall doesn't stop them, could go to the wall. So only object there stuck is the mother's womb. out of karma, because the karma, they stuck in the mother womb. They could not go through mother's womb. Besides that, they go through everything. The wall doesn't prevent them. So then, so mainly remain on to support the life. So mainly remain on smell, mainly remain on smell. Oh. Therefore, as I said last Wednesday, the remaining family member, they take this sur practice very seriously, because that's part of being rely on smell. So every evening, every morning, you made this roasted barley flour mixed with 3 white, 3 sweet, mixed with them, do some rituals. So then then offer that you burn them outside. Oh, yeah, like that. Okay. Oh. This for part of being, because why they rely on smells to keep the life force. So this so then each the small death every week. This kind of dies, go through this death resolution process every week. So then, if after the end of the death, if they take rebirth, so then it's finished. If not, so then the 2nd week, 3rd week, 4th week, 5th week, 6th week, 7th week. So then you, by the force of karma, you have to take some form of rebirth, because that's the maximum lifespan of pardo. After that, you don't call pardo. It's going to be any kind of like rebirth. Okay. Oh. Then vesa ti shmelu ne pardo de tena the pardo ati ngamel pardo ati rangi ngamel de to ya leji dewa chebe topji de nimba te ngai lui nyama tela judi lo mijewa sai ngoshi le songs. As in this text, sai ngoshi means the what's called actual ground. What's called you see, if the pardo, even the pardo being seized, they're on his or her own body.
Oh yeah, actuality of the levels.
Actuality of the levels. Actuality of the levels. That's the name of the text. Actuality of levels. Saying which, so composed by Asanga, Arya Asanga. Wrote 7 textbooks. This is one of them. Saying Wishi, Shido, Nanda, Nirmanda, Sadde, Nasa. There's like, so this kind of like actuality of.
Yeah, actuality of the levels.
Of the levels. Supposed to be the name of the books. This is the name of the book. No, the books. Saying Wishi. Maybe we'll see how they're translated here by Tibetans. If I can find. So. Here, 5 teachings of Asanga. 5 teachings of Asanga. Shido, Namjundo, Gundo. Maybe the Ninjas of the Nibundo. Maybe say Mush or Domnami. Trunsawa, that's not one of the texts. Sorry, my mistake. So I don't know. Say Mushi Suina. Okay, not that difficult to find, but this is not from Aya Asanga, so that's a mistake. Not from Aya Asanga. So I thought that Aya Asanga wrote these 5 treatises. I thought it's one of them, so it turns out it's not one of them. Say Ngushi Le Songs. That is mentioned here. Yeah, it's not important, so nobody going to ask you, I think.
Is it Geshe in Tibetan? What is it in Tibetan?
Say Ngushi.
The main treatise on the stages is another translation of that.
Say Ngushi means treatise to say Ngushi. Sadhyanga.
Bhumi Vastu, Sanskrit. Bhumi Vastu.
Or is my mistake, or like person who wrote the dictionary, that's his mistake.
Part of the Yogacara Bhuma. Part of the Yogacara Bhuma.
Najujibesa. Yeah, so then if it's a part of the Yogacara Bhumi, then I am correct. So anyway, so part of it, I used to, there's a written by it's a part of the Yogacara Bhumi, so then it's written by Arya Asanga. So one of those 5 treatises, okay, for the sake of knowledge. No, so in that text it says even the Pardo sees the body is lying down on the bed, so like may not recognize. Why? Because chromically disconnected with the body, so that's why. Tene ti ritu rangi shagi omdu chabla misi desa teta nyao kawda nyawala tene siva fudu chabla nyawa jana siva posu chabanis. Now how like siva posu chabla nyawa jana shalam 이제 저나 칸에 전도전나 주tilun데 미전나 미다 들어전나 대화다 나도 저를 미면전에 조금 전에 우주 답은 대바솔레 so now tell the how you can tell like what kind of rebirth you're going to take if like consciousness descend from 7 deaths. You can read that please.
This is on page 53 in Death, Intermediate State, and Rebirth. So the mode of exit from the body after death. One who is to be reborn as a hell being exits from the anus, as a hungry ghost from the mouth, as an animal from the urinary passage, as a human from the eye, as a god of the desire realm from the navel, as a yaksha from the nose, as a god of magical accomplishment, or as a probable human from the ear. If one is to be reborn in the form realm, the exit is from the middle of the brow, and if one is to be reborn in the formless realm, it is from the crown of the head.
So that's what is said in the Ju. That's like one of those texts. Ju usually directly taught by Buddha. It's no treatise. Treatise like taught by Indian masters such as Nagarjuna, Asanga, Vasubandhu, Dignaga, all of that. That's called treatises, like commentaries on the text that directly taught by Buddha. Ju mainly is like tantra teachings that directly taught by Buddha. That's called Ju. It's one of here. There's like few volumes of that. So one of those texts that mentions like that. I don't think that is definite. It's just mentioned. It's just for the sake of knowledge, just mentioned. If you wonder, then who will know? Yeah, there are different levels of clairvoyance you can develop based on shamatha. After shamatha, when you achieve shamatha, different levels of clairvoyance you can gain. Then certain clairvoyance allows you to see every single shape and color, like 5,000 miles, within 5,000 miles, every single shape and color you can see. The normal eye cannot see. That's like one of the clairvoyance related to the eye, the visions, clairvoyance related to the ear. You could hear every single sound, 5,000 miles. I'm just saying just 5,000 miles, further than that. Within the range of 5,000 miles, every single sound you can hear if you have this clairvoyance. So then some of the clairvoyance allows you to see 500 life before this, and 500 life after that, something like that. That's, so then sometimes people could gain that authentic, identical one, reciting large quantity of mantras. The identical one, you could then, sometimes the people just born with identical one, they can just see. And then also medicine mentioned, I don't know what kind of medicine. Also substance mentioned, I'm not sure what kind of substance. Is that refers to the mushrooms? I'm not sure what kind of substance people do have, see something like, ze, how to say, ze. Yeah, so some people say if you find the coral nest, I'm not sure how many of them, like not just one, a couple of them, if you find them, if you throw in the water, naturally runs down. It never runs up. If you want to run down, throw them. So then, among those nests, one stick will come towards the water. Doesn't goes to the water will not carry it down. It will comes up. If you manage to pick that stick, so then you become invisible. Something like that. That could be maybe substance. I'm not sure. Anyway, so it's not. That's why some people who possess clairvoyance, they do see not how the consciousness descends, which of those 7 doors, not just that, or they could also see the pardo. They could see pardo. Some people see, if they have clairvoyance, they can see. And also human pardo, they can see each other's. Human pardo, they can see each other's. The human pardo probably has ability to see animal pardo. Animal pardo could not see human pardo. Human pardo could not see the pardo being from celestial realm. They could not see, but celestial realm pardo being could see human pardo and all of that, So, then so it's not definite. It's just letting you know. It's not definite. Sade so luto an ninga de namje po sha banga miga de luji nando namje po na toma ninga de po ya tene luji chiro so no gosu po sha ba yimji ni kangba ta tewa ninga ichi po she dang de bang yu de kangba da mi jin na ninga po sha go so ne tene ne ta da do gabe tu de jabale she ba ta kangba so be ne ta luwa gabe to ji ji namje ga su te mo da binji ne ta namje ju po te mo mai be nga she ba tang so no ni no ga wa me do tong ji che ba no de ne bang ji che ba so I just explained that, so I will explain that one. So the rest no need to understand. It's kind of for the debate. No need to understand. No need to know. So now the size of the body. If you wonder like how the human part looks like and how what is the size of the human part, Zambuling be me pardo chipa longa ham Zambuling me pardo. Zambuling no, so there's like 4 continents. There's lives like all these 4 different human realms. So we are called northern world. Human from northern world. Zambuling. That's what it's called?
They just say this world.
Yeah, northern world. Zambuling. Zambuling. Me, Pardo. Our Pardo. It looks like Chiba, probably baby. It's like a baby, 5 years and 6-year-old baby. Is baby?
Youth.
Or child.
Child.
Yeah, so child. 5 or 6-year-old child looks like that. Me, Pardo, Chiba long arm, low took them, Zunde to Shejan, touch it on Yaba Masonso. Not definite. We just give you some idea. It's not definite. Zunje, there's like the commentary on Abhidharma Kosha. Of course, there's many commentaries. The Zhe Rangde, that's written by Vasubandhu. He wrote the root text and he wrote the commentaries. Zhe Rangde. So I'm not sure which one of them. Zunje means like a commentary on Abhidharma Kosha text. Nambe Chevache, Ngendu Pardo, Chawan Napo. If the Pardo heading towards lower realms, then it particularly hell realms, it looks like kind of dark, color-wise kind of looks dark. Then you Parsi, Nabukabu, the Pardo there goes to the higher realms, it looks kind of like white color. Not white like this, like it's almost like moonlight weight, like that kind of white. Nyam jua, chabatabi nyam jua, sai mushisons, same again the same text. So now that's the aspect. How it aspect? Yes. Can you read this, please? Aspect.
Asanga's Actuality of the Levels says that to an intermediate being of a bad migration, there appears an outstretched black flag or night pervaded by darkness.
So this is good. Now that does mention Asanga.
Yes.
In many cases in Tibetan text, they just name the text, and you have to figure it out who wrote the text. So I think it's much better. So because memorization is a big part of our education systems, somehow they expect you to know the authors. So because a lot of memorization has been done, so it's helpful if you name the author, so then you don't need to figure it out, spend a lot of time. So so blaming the blaming the person who translated this, the dictionary who wrote it. So there's text, the truth is that the text is written by Asanga. That's the same thing. That's already before the same text. Then Kadok now different color.
Whereas
This is just for the knowledge. It's not maybe it's not important. It's just for the knowledge. So we are starting here anyway. We go through this. Okay, Kadok different colors.
Whereas to an intermediate being of a happy migration, there appears an outstretched white cloth or night pervaded by moonlight.
Now, so these are nothing to explain. So then, can you please continue to read?
Color. The Sutra of Teaching to Nanda on Entry to the Womb explains that the intermediate state of a hell being is like a log burned by fire.
So what's the name of the text?
Sutra of Teaching to Nanda on Entry to the Womb.
Yeah, that text especially explains the process of rebirth. So that particular sutra that only explains about how the rebirth take place, the process of rebirth. That's called I never read the text. Maybe it's somewhere here. Maybe I read, not being mindful, because this text has been read multiple times at monastery, not one by one, but end of the line, there's 100 people in the line. The whole volumes, the last person at the line, end of the line, he kept the whole volumes of books, then he sends page by page. Then the 100 people get 100 page. So then it depends, like some people read very slowly, some people read very fast. If you have like a lot of people who can read very fast, you will finish faster. If you have a lot of people who's reading slowly, so then you may end up asking somebody help. So that depends. If in the very beginning of the line, if that person reads so fast, so then it goes fast, then then maybe you may not able to get a chance to finish the one page. Then you end up saying that you are not allowed to talk, but you can say backside below 2 lines. That's all you say. Then other person will just pick up, and you could say below front side 3 lines below, or then there's some term they use. You don't need to talk like that. They just said. So through that, I think I read probably many times, but don't remember. By the time when you get the page, it's the middle of the page, and then title is already gone. Title is already gone all the way up there. So through that, probably read many times, but of course, just reading, not even just studying there in the monastery, probably reading, but just reading there, not understanding what I'm reading. So probably just reading the word. Gaunganjukido, one of them, probably somewhere here.
So the intermediate state of a hell being is like a log burned by fire, of a hungry ghost like water, of an animal like smoke, of a god of the desire realm or a human, gold, and of a god of the form realm, white.
So then, this is also good to know. That people see things, see shapes in different color could mean something, but you have no clue. You don't have no knowledge what you make up. You don't know anything. You just. So maybe, so it helps, knowledge is important, need more knowledge. So for anything, need more knowledge. So it gives you more tools to figure things out. These are the colors. Oh. Well, so you finish that? So that was just then Jesu Chebas now Jesu Chebas that then
Shape?
So that get a little bit complicated because the way the root text has been written, and people have hard time ngunti sibe shazu chins. And that the root word, that did not say much, it's just short line. Ngunti sibe shazu chin. So you don't know, it's like before death or before rebirth, and people get a little bit confused. If you read the root text, chapter number 3, it all says, Ngunju sibe shazuchin. That's all it says, one line that describes this, what is called?
Shape.
That describes the shape. There's only one line, Ngunju sibe shazuchin, root text from Abhidhamma Kosha. So then need to interpret it or explain Ngun, previous. The Ngun word Ngun means previous. Siva means like life. Shazuchi means that looks like a previous life. So now previous based on rebirth or based on death, or then that get a little confused. So if you debate, so if sometimes people misinterpret it.
Vasubandhu's Treasury of Knowledge says that an intermediate being has the fleshy aspect or physical shape of the prior state of that migrator.
Yeah, prior state, so that get confused prior to death or prior to rebirth. And so that, that require a little more thinking. So then eventually you will figure it out. And this is prior to rebirth, not prior to death. So then prior to death, then it's going to be like you. It's going to be looks like you. That's not the case. It's going to be looks like the one that you are going to take rebirth. If you're going to be born in the celestial realm, it's going to be looks like being in the celestial realm. That's like prior refers to the so that prior, so that it little bit get so anyway, sorry.
So the prior state of that migrator as which it will be reborn.
Quando tinju jin do de ngundu ji sibe chazu jin na lu ji ibse do so ji sibe ji sa ni do ji ni ke ni wona also now then please continue.
There are 4 states.
Oh yeah.
The first, the birth state, the first moment of connecting to the new life. The second is the prior state, existence from the moment after connecting to the new life until the death state.
You understand? When you read, understand? Oh, can you read, Chugla, please? Can you read?
Prior state.
If you understand that, that's good. Then I don't need to go through this explanation.
Existence from the moment after connecting to the new life until the death state. That was the second one. The third one, the death state. Existence during the last period of death or at the time of experiencing the clear light of death.
Continue, please continue.
And the fourth is intermediate state, existence that occurs between the death state and birth state.
Continue.
Mistaking the mere words of the term Mistaking the mere words of the term prior state, some assert that an intermediate being has the physical aspect of the former life. Also, others, seeing a Sangha's explanation that it has the physical shape of the next life.
So this is critical when you debate. It's critical that everything needs to be clear. It needs to be crystal clear. You can't just live like, oh, I guess that's what it is. You can't guess. You have to be 100% definite. That's what it means. So when you debate, that's why you debate. You try to get the truth out of anything. Then you have to be certain. You can't just, oh, I guess this like this before like this. I guess this like that. You can't just. You have to be precise. So that's why this explanation is why the author is explaining. Then 문제지 시바시 문제 치치메 치실라 때be 문다 바돌라 때be 문도 조금 마이너스. So then so if you are interested, please continue. Did you find interesting? Yeah, please continue read. Yeah, continue.
Also, others seeing a Sangha's explanation that it has the physical shape of the next life assert that it has the physical aspect of the former life for 3.5 days and of the next life for 3.5 days. Tsongkhapa's great exposition of the stages of the path explains that these are only fabrications without correct sources. For the word prior in the term prior state is prior relative to the death state of the next life, but not to the intermediate state. This is because Vasubandhu's Treasury of Knowledge says, possessing the fleshy form of the prior state that will occur, using the future and not the past.
Yeah, so that kind of like puzzle. So in the puzzle in Tibetan, so that you can read, and that requires a lot of thinking. You have to think. So now prior refers to where, which, then you so actually debate is very good. I think the debate in the monastery is very good for prevent Alzheimer's disease. So that you really need to think and not just think. Many hours of you trying to figure it out, like what is the best way to explain. If I say this, it goes against this book. If I say this, it goes this book. So then, so it's that, and that it makes you think so quick. Somebody asks you some questions, you already have 100 different, or you already thought about 10 different ways to answer. Other person who is questioning you, they also have like 20 different ways to debate you. So like that, quick. There's not much time. You have to be very quick, and somehow it really helps and keep your brain sharp. So then memorizing like 24, 5, 30, 50 words is not that big deal. You can, within hours, you can probably memorize 50 words quite easily. You can memorize like that. So, but that's just, this just trying to, there's one line, there's all commentary, now it's just trying to figure out what this line means, that's all. So, but whether you understand that or not, or if you understand, pardo is going to happen. If you don't understand that, there will be no pardo. It's not like that. There will be pardo, no matter what. Oh yeah. So now you figured out? You understand? Oh, good. So now how the pardo being moves. So that easiest way to figure it out was pardo, miracle birth. Every organ, all the organ will happen simultaneously. So that's why. That's because it's a miracle birth. That's why everything happened simultaneously. Then. Yeah, so to read, if you can figure it out, then we'll talk next week, next Sunday, next Wednesday. Okay. So now the movement. So we need to move. Okay. So now almost video.
Mode of movement. Asanga's Actuality of the Levels says that an intermediate being of a god proceeds upwards, of a human straight forward, and of a bad migration downwards head first.
There's got one thing that I like to mention. Like if you probably have seen the laying Buddha on the right hand. Like reclining Buddha, whatever you call. So that very like the positions, that the laying positions is kind of like it's kind of blocks all the draws that consciousness could descend, then born in low rebirth. So that kind of sleeping positions kind of blocks most of this, the draws that consciousness descend. That just explain if you go through there. So then so then that's why that Buddha, reclining Buddhas, like when the Buddha passed away. So that's how Buddha passed away. So that kind of this whole positions kind of blocks the draws. Pretty much all these draws to consciousness to descend, pretty much blocks. So that's just, it's not here. I just want to share. So if you ever wonder, so why not that? So that's the reason behind that is pretty much all the draws kind of block. So yesterday I said like energies through the right channels kind of like fuels angers. Energy through the left channels kind of fuel attachments. So then sitting positions, meditation sitting position, you kind of like when you meditate, when you sit like water across, half water across, even the physical structures kind of like block the channels that kind of like energy that run through the channel kind of contribute to anger and attachment. You automatically kind of block that. The way you sit kind of temporarily block the channels to run the energy that kind of contributes to anger, so like that. So then same the right, the left, right, mainly energy that, not saying that every single energy that run through the right side channel will cause anger. No, but energy that cause anger is running through the side channels. Energy that cause attachment is running through the left channels. So not every energy that comes out of there goes that cause attachment. That's not the case. But the energy that cause attachment it doesn't run through the right channels, it runs through the left channels. So that's why sitting position, you kind of bend, and it's kind of like temporarily, try to control energies through sitting position, try to control the energy through sitting positions. So then, the what you call three poison: attachment, anger, ignorance. So the ignorance, that's hard to control. And the energy that run through the central channels, that, probably you can't really control through sitting positions, physical positions, you can't really control that. So that's like, that's challenge. This can only control if you manage to send the energy through center, if you manage to open the central channels. So that's probably the one way to do, or that's the only way to do. Open the central channels, try to push the energy through the central channels, and untie all the knots. There's many knots on upper part, lower part. Then, then that the drops from the crown chakras flows through the central channels. So that happened, time of death, it happened automatically. That's why, you have this experience like recognizing or emptiness, shunyata. You have the experience automatically. So that you could have the experience way before you die through prana yoga. So in the highest yoga tantra, there's many teachings. So then you clear the central channels by sending the energies through central channels. Slowly you manage to do that. Does require strong concentration. Without that, impossible. Without concentration, impossible. So then you manage to clear the channels. So then you can draw down the white drop from the crown chakra all the way to the tip of organ. So then bring it back. So then you experience this great bliss, joy. So then very bliss, then you're trying to utilize that bliss to recognize emptiness. So then that's how you clear ignorance. When you utilize emptiness. So that's the only difference between Sutrayana and Tantrayana. Sutrayana, normal mind recognize emptiness. Tantrayana, that very bliss, the great bliss, the experience, that bliss recognize emptiness. That's why the process is much quicker. It's not just you experience the bliss that drop going down, you experience that drop going up, you experience multiple bliss, not just going down. And that you control the process. It's not like just, so normally people engage in the sexual activity, it just goes so fast, you can't control. But that through that channel chakra practice, you can control how fast the drop should go down, how that you can control the speed. And of course, like it doesn't go out of the triple organ. It just, you can, through the power of energy, you can bring it back. So then you again experience another bliss. So that very bliss, so then recognize emptiness. So then that's the way to eliminate ignorance. So that's why says the energy of ignorance goes to the central channel. It's hard to control. That's what I mean, hard to control. So two side channel energy you could control by sitting positions, you could control temporarily, but central channel is hard. Then unfortunately, a lot of people are misinformed about this tantra practice, and people, it's very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. A lot of people misinformed about tantra practice, and then a lot of people fooled by that. That's not good. So that's unfortunate. That's, I think, what happened when tantra became very public. That's what happened. It only taught a small group, people who are education-wise, people who are well prepared, knowledge-wise, well prepared, then best, and some experience. So then, if you teach, then could get enlightened within this short lifetime. Otherwise, so just creating cause for more suffering. That's all. So, and that happens. It happened in the past, happening now, probably going to happen in the future. People misinterpret tantra teachings. A lot of people that kind of like falls under that misinterpretation, so then create more suffering, and that's all. Instead of eliminating suffering, cause more suffering. So then that's not teachings meant for. Teachings meant for to liberate. That's very unfortunate. I think that's the one reason Buddhism deteriorated in India, because misinterpretation of tantra practice contributed to deterioration of the Buddha Dharma as a whole in India. Needs to be careful. When people say something, needs to, if you have some knowledge, so more likely you are not going to fall into that trap. Otherwise, it's creating more cause for suffering. That's all. So anyway, so that sitting, the reclining Buddha, just sitting positions is blocking most of the doors that consciousness could descend. Maybe that's not definite. If the consciousness descends from those, one of those doors could go to lower realm, but there's this very reclining positions kind of automatically blocks most of the door. That's why Buddha, prosper to parinirvana like that position, okay, for just for the knowledge. So now Pardo is kind of finished, right? Pretty much, Chugila. Pardo is pretty much done. Only. So then what do you do as a community? What do you do? How you separate memorial, how you handle the memorial service? Yeah, memorial service goes 49 days. It's not just one day, get together and finish. Then next day, nothing happens. It's not like in Tibetan, the Buddhist traditions, 49 days. You think about the deceased person, loved one, 49 days, and you do something every week. So then week number 4 is kind of important, because more likely it will take some form of rebirth, the week number 4. So if not, then there will be 3 more weeks. The week number 4 and 7 is considered some kind of importance. So then how you know if somebody died today, how you know the first week, if the person died on Tuesday, Then next Tuesday is the 1 week. There's no like. I said something. Geshe Sangpo don't like what I said. I said no, because I read textbook. So anything that I know has to have source. Not just it's not good enough if somebody says. No, that's not good enough. That I need to see some textbook where it says what, how it says. So anyway, Tonga Jube challenge, there's like one practice that continues by doing. Your great-great-parent does, your parent does, you does, it's just passed down by generation to generation, but you may learn by just looking. No, Tonga means you just see. Ju means continues. Challenge the practice that continues by seeing. Oh, you does that, no, then somebody does that. Nobody questions, is just doing that. So then sometimes could be mistake. So when you look at the text, that's not how you. No, so then now majority of the people are doing that. So you are the only one who's trying to correct. That's hard to correct. So there's like 100 people doing the same thing. So all of a sudden now you say, oh no, that's not how you define the first week. That's how you define the first week. If the person dies before noon, then after noon, that's how you define when the first week is going to be. So then I decide, okay, not to argue with Geshe Sangpo, so let him decide. I let him take care. So so then people ask, how to define. So next week, Tuesday, that's like morning, evening, morning, afternoon. So if you die in morning, there's something going next. The week next how you define the day is going to be a little different if you die afternoon. So then after Geshe Sangpo says, no, that's how it's been done. I say, okay, then no. So anyway, next time when you ask, if you wonder when, you need to go to Geshe Sangpo. You ask Geshe Sangpo, so Geshe Sangpo will tell you. So what will be the next day? Some family member, close one, so to Geshe Sangpo. So then Geshe Sangpo will say, that's how it's been done in monastery. So that's probably, that's called practice continues by hearing or listening, seeing, not necessarily book or somebody else.
It looked like there was some disagreement on whether the migratory being could change type after, let's say, 7 days dying. Is it going to be the same type of migratory being for the next 7 days?
No, the pardo could be redirect.
Okay, so that's what you're trying to do when you're helping the person?
Amount of merit that you dedicated for the deceased persons, that power of the merit can redirect the pardo.
Okay, thank you.
If that pardo is going to take rebirth in the formless realm, then it's hard to redirect. Almost impossible to redirect. Human realm, like animal realm, that pardo can be redirect. Oh, so we are really carried out by all my garbage here. So okay, now I think pardo is complete. Pardo, so the study about pardo is now done. So now we move. So I think that's pretty much about pardo. Okay, that's pretty much about. So then, only thing now, how to separate how to handle the memorial service, and in particular in Tibetan Buddhist traditions, Tibetan communities, remain family take very seriously this 49-day memorial service, take very seriously. And so whatever wealth they left behind by the deceased persons, so big chunk of that you dedicated for their well-being, you dedicated for their well-being. So then after that you could talk to some horoscope, some astrology, you could talk to some astrology. Then the astrology, look at the chart of the persons. So there's also what do you call like sign of birth. It's called Kyeta. Kyeta means sign of birth. That's what's called sign of birth. Sometimes people make statues, tankas, things like that, based on the person's chart. So you don't have to wait till your death. You can make it now, so then make offerings. Then you can create a lot of merit, so. And my mother saw that according to her chart, but Tibetan, the reading Tibetan chart is not that, I think for Western people it's much better chance because you know exactly what day, what time. Tibetan, my generations, my parents' generation, then, so now new generation probably they know, especially if they're born in this country, they know exactly it's been written. So then most of them you just guess, maybe Monday, maybe something you know, something you don't know. If you have record at home, so then maybe you know. So then based on that, then you look at the chart. So then based on that, then you make the sign of birth. For my mother, so it's like medicine Buddha Pure Land, according to chart. So then my sister has, so now she's making offering every day. So you don't have to wait to make that sign of birth till after your death. You could make now. So that's something that also that the Tibetan people take very seriously. Statue or tanka, so they make for the deceased persons. So these are the things that we do in Tibetan community. And then you try to finish that before 49 days. If you are making that after a person's death, so then you try to finish that before 49 days. You make every effort to finish that. Or maybe buy something that's already made, or then, if not, then I think most of nowadays it's easy. Most of the statues or paint tanka, it's your choice. You could make statue or tanka. It didn't say, it just said medicine Buddha. You could make statue or tanka. It doesn't say it doesn't say statue or tanka. It just said the generic. You could make statue or painting, so you can make that. So that now a lot of people they do way before they die. They just do it by themselves. You can look at the chart. You don't have to wait until you're dead. So then after that, so then that's the one thing that quite common in the lay communities. Monastery, like Salem Monastery, we don't, then of course in the lay community they do a lot of things kind of like most elaborate way. So monastery, the big monastery where they really study Buddha's teaching, is very simple, very simple. They don't do very elaborate things. So then but anyway, the point is that the family take very seriously these practices for the deceased people. They take very seriously, sometimes too serious, too elaborate, So, and especially in the lay communities. So if you see, like, there's not how it's been done in the university, Buddhist university, where they study, where they know Dharma, where they study Dharma in very depth, they don't do that elaborate. It's dead and it's finished. But 49 days do with all the monastery, the lay community, they all do. So on this, so that's about like I say, you say celebrating, memorial, not celebrating. How you say memorial service? What do you call? You call celebrate? Service or ceremony. Ceremony. It's like, yeah, memorial service. That's how the memorial service has been handled in the pretty much Buddhist country, particularly Tibetan Buddhist community. That's how memorial service. I think that there's nothing. So then we'll touch a little bit, maybe 2 minutes left. So maybe begin a little bit with the. Make sure don't stuck in the part so talk about rebirth. So but then the change so now how to take rebirth. So Pardowa ti mai ngal to chawal le bala ne sum ngundu chu nyeba sum da tawaji gode ma ne me je da se je thada de be ka bi ma tisa nyewa ko ju do ba pomoni penzu chap sing cheba de sum ngundu chu ba tans. So this is probably very foreign to your ear, probably never heard this before. So can you read this one?
Taking birth. The Sutra of Teaching Tananda on Entry to the Womb says that in order for an intermediate being to take rebirth in a mother's womb, 3 favorable conditions must aggregate and 3 unfavorable ones must be absent. 1. The mother must be free from disease and at a time of non-menstruation. 2. The smell eater must be nearby and wish to enter. 3. The male and female must desire each other and meet. 4. The mother's womb must be free from the fault of its center being like the shape of a barley seed, an ant's waist, or a camel's mouth, and must not be obstructed by wind, bile, or phlegm. Both mother and father must not have faulty seed in the sense of either the semen or blood not descending, or of the one descending before the other, or, though they descend together, of either being rotten. 6. The smell eater must be free from the fault of not having accumulated an action for being born as a child.
So like that time there's no machines to see. There's no machine to see. How somebody knows that they don't, as I said, quantum physics becomes so popular in the West. It's already taught 2,500 years ago. The West is very new. It's not Buddhism is not new. It's already been taught 2,500 years ago. How they know? So now here, quantum physics, people are like, wow, this is not new idea. The Nagarjuna already taught quantum physics. It doesn't call quantum physics. Idea has already been there 2,500 years ago. There's nothing new in the West. All these things, there's no machine to test. But they do know if there's a problem in the womb, what kind of problems it explains. So,
6. The smell eater must be free from the fault of not having accumulated an action for being born as the child of that male and female, who must also be without the fault of not having accumulated an action for becoming its father and mother.
Please continue.
This is similar in meaning to the statement in a disciplined scripture that 6 states must be manifest. A smell eater who has these 6 conditions sees in an illusory manner the father and mother lying together. Due to wanting to copulate, if it is to be reborn as a male, it desires the mother and wishes to separate from the father. Whereas if it is to be reborn as a female, it desires the father and wishes to separate from the mother.
Yeah, this from here to this section, scientists have no clue. They probably don't talk about those, so they have no clue like how all these explanations is like maybe after maybe 50 years or maybe 100 years, they say, oh, we found this. It's already been taught. It's not nothing new, so. who knows? Then
Then, when it begins to embrace the other that it desired through the force of previous actions, it does not perceive any part of the body except the person's sexual organ, whereby anger is generated. This desire and hatred act as the cause of death, and the intermediate being enters the womb. The Many Levels chapter of Asanga's Actuality of the Levels says that, whereas the father and mother are not actually lying together, the smell eater mistakenly perceives the semen and blood as such. Vasubandhu's commentary on the Treasury of Knowledge, however, explains that it sees the father and mother lying together.
So in one session, I was just wondering, like, I'm not sure which one. The child is here, that means boy. Child's here, left, that means girl. How they know? There's no, now they have your machine to what you call sonogram. There's no sonogram. How they know? So now I was curious, is that correct explanations? So now you can see. Before you cannot, there are people who can see through clairvoyance, but they are not through machines. So now I was wondering, it's maybe not here, so now time's over, so maybe next Wednesday. I was just wondering about that, so a long time, so yeah, it'll come somewhere down there. It'll come. So then, you opportunity to prove is wrong, or opportunity to amaze. How they know? So they know it's a boy or girl. They know because the locations. So, okay, thank you. So now, next Wednesday, that's the last class for death dissolution process. Okay. Then most important things, so whether you are able to put into all of this into practice or to recognize or not, positive mindset, there's something you can count on. Positive mindset. There's something does not require much knowledge, but you can count on positive mindset. That's the best way to die, with a positive mindset. Whatever ways you can contribute it to person to think something good, doesn't have to be practice. It can be stories, telling their life story, wonderful life stories, that people should not do anything that disturb dying person's mind. That's not good. Everybody should try all their best to contribute to good set of mind. That's the best chance. Practical level, whether we can put all this into practice or not. So that's the hope. So that hope requires study and thinking, not just once a blue moon, thinking again. If that's the goal, to grab that moment. When it happened, I want to grab that moment. So then is now time to think a little bit, read, not just once in a while. So so then that's is very much depend on your practice, your knowledge, and how well you understand all of that. The positive mindset doesn't require the positive mindset. Think something positive now, So then, according to Zapatri Rinpoche, that's Zapatri Rinpoche highly recommended to think something positive. That's very doable. So doesn't require much knowledge, much practice. So then, other than that, everything requires effort or dedications. So without that, it's hard to It's hard to, I say, it's hard, it's not easy, so sorry to say. But if I say it's easy, that's lie, it's not good. No, it's possible, it's very possible, but it requires some knowledge or some study or practice, okay? Oh, yeah.
Turn to page 235 in the Gold Prayer Book. Jampa power jitar kempadam kundu zampo deyande jinte
Deda kunji jesu dalo gewa deda tamje ramdo
Dusun shepe gewa
tamje ngowa kalanjo donga bade dashe gewa zawande kunjo
zampo chuchurab tungo wargi. On page 244 and 245 for the long life prayers. Gandhirawe
Kore shingamde pendande wa male jowene
Chere zewa tenzin gyatso i shabe site bardu tengyu chi Jonu iya
ngala wonjonde
awatare zembara zopa Lozan gewe de don le beljo Jasu gengyo lama sowa de Tupsu
Chanje jamge jawe Tenzen jambewe
Kunzer do porte
Shozom kovele metudu
Padok so duje
Gondo
Japten sho Om tare tu re so ha 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 Om tare tu re so ha.
Thank you. Good night. Oh, yeah.